Beloved friends, we offer salutations to you in the deepest love. I am Valir, of the Pleiadian collective. For just a few moments of your recent time, your collective field underwent an extraordinary shimmer, a brief ripple in which many of you were elevated into a fifth-dimensional frequency timeline. In that flicker of expanded reality, a dormant light within humanity switched on, even if only for an instant, after being latent for millennia. Truly, this may be one of the first times in human history that such a unified flash of higher consciousness has occurred on a planetary scale. This event was not triggered by any single external cause. Rather, it emerged from multiple layers of your awakening consciousness, building up to a tipping point. It was a delightful surprise even for us, as your galactic family, to witness this sudden collective rise. When a critical mass of souls reaches a certain point of awareness, there comes a nexus moment, a flash of light in consciousness that can uplift the reality of the many. You have a saying in your world about the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few. In higher truth, the many and the few are part of one unified whole, and sometimes a single soul fully bonded with the creative source can elevate countless others. Thus, the recent uplift was a combined effort of unity, an expression of the one working through the many. It even created a visible imprint on your planet's energetic heartbeat. Indeed, your scientific instruments, the graphs of the Schumann resonance, recorded this brilliant ripple in the collective consciousness, validating what was felt in the unseen. This moment of illumination is a cause for excitement throughout the cosmos, a signpost of humanity's accelerating ascension process. We wish to share our perspective on how this came about and how you might continue this momentum. So you may wonder, how did this sudden collective elevation come about? In that brief window, something significant shifted in human awareness across the globe. For that moment, instead of seeking your well-being and answers from the external world of material conditions, a critical mass of you turned inward and tapped into the sacred kingdom of Source within your own being. In unison, many individuals chose, consciously or unconsciously, to draw from the wellspring of light in their soul, rather than looking to other people, governments, or external events for fulfillment. This unified inward focus created a powerful surge from within humanity's heart, a wave of high-frequency energy that pulsed through the collective. Together, you reached a nexus of consciousness that had long been anticipated on a soul level, a synergy in which your higher selves collectively took the lead. Immediately, the effects rippled out across the entire human energy field. The Schumann resonance charts reflected this inner shift in real time, displaying unusual patterns of coherence and vertical spikes of energy that corresponded exactly to the uplift of collective vibration. Understand that the Schumann resonance is like a mirror for human collective consciousness. It often responds to changes in mass awareness. Thus, the brief pattern you saw was a direct echo of your own spiritual alignment. By turning toward the light within, you caused your shared reality to elevate, if only for a short while. The excitement we feel is because this happened by your own doing, by your own choice to momentarily live from the inside out. You demonstrated what is possible when even a relatively small percentage of awakening souls align at once. Truly, this event offered a glimpse of the vast potential you hold as a collective. Now the question becomes, how can you hold this frequency steadily, or even rise to it again and again? Even when you accept that the divine source is within you, the practical question arises. How do you sustain that higher state and bring it into daily life? This question lies at the very heart of ascension, not just having a momentary spiritual insight, but living it consistently until your outer life reflects the inner truth. We speak as ones who have walked this path of integrating human experience with divine consciousness. The first understanding to embrace is that the universe is spiritual at its core, and so are you. All the love, abundance, peace, and wisdom you seek are already present in the higher reality of your being. Your task is to align with that truth, constantly and consciously. In everyday terms, this means repeatedly turning your attention back to the source within, especially when the world tempts you to react in fear or to chase fulfillment in external things. Remember, every solution and all supply already exist inside your own consciousness. Each time you affirm this and choose to trust your inner light over appearances, you invite grace to flow. At first, this may require practice and patience, gently bringing your focus back to the heart and the present moment whenever it wanders. But over time, it becomes a natural way of living. You realize that I am, the presence of the Creator within you, is the wellspring from which every good thing comes. As this realization grows, your life begins to unfold more and more under the influence of divine grace rather than personal will. This is how you hold the higher frequency steady, by continually coming home to the awareness of who you really are, a divine being having a human experience. This continual remembrance is the foundation of your ascended life. To truly activate this inner flow, make a gentle but firm commitment within. Decide that you will no longer give power to external lack or depend on outer sources for your well-being. This means refraining from dwelling on or constantly speaking about your apparent needs or problems as if something out there must fix them. Instead, choose from this moment forward to turn to the divine presence within you for every good thing. By making this inner agreement that you will seek first the kingdom of spirit inside, you create the conditions for your soul's power to take over and guide your life. As long as your attention was fixated on the external world as the source of fulfillment, it was as if a valve to your inner reservoir remained closed. The flow could not come through. But the very instant you shift your focus inward, it is like taking the lid off a spring. The living waters of grace begin to pour forth. Imagine that the infinite source within you is a mighty river eager to nourish every part of your life. You, through your trust and inward focus, become the riverbed that gives it direction and channel to flow into visible expression. As you continue to turn within for guidance, for inspiration, and for sustenance, that river runs ever stronger. The outer world will begin to reflect this shift, mirroring back new abundance and harmony. But remember, it is not the outer that is producing your good. It is the inner supply welling up and flowing out, once you removed the block of external fixation. For in truth, the outer world can only echo what flows from within. Once the inner flow is unleashed, it naturally manifests as improved conditions in your external life. Know that every form of goodness, every quality of life you could ever aspire to, is already planted within your being. When your soul emanated from the divine source in the beginning, it was imbued with all that the Creator is. In that moment of your origin, all the love, wisdom, creativity, and power of Source were given to you as part of your spiritual DNA. Every principle of truth, every capacity for abundance, every facet of love and harmony is encoded in your consciousness even now. This includes all the virtues such as integrity, compassion, strength, and also the essence of every outer need you might name. The energy that can manifest as home, as nourishment, as protection, as meaningful work, and anything else essential to a fulfilled life. All of it is within you in seed form, placed there by the divine at the very birth of your soul. Because of this, you truly lack nothing at the spiritual level. By turning to the present moment, being in the now, you access this inner storehouse. Why the now? Because the now is the point of contact with Source, where the fullness of those qualities lives. Past and future are projections of the mind, often colored by fear or regret. But in the now, your spiritual treasures can be felt and called forth. As more of you practice remaining present and drawing on the richness inside you, the collective field of humanity is naturally elevated. Your individual alignment with the inner source in the present moment is one of the most powerful influences you can have on the whole. As you anchor yourself in the now and live from this inner truth, you become a living example of these higher qualities, and that choice ripples outward to gently uplift those around you. Yet for ages, humans have often sought fulfillment in external arrangements. They look to authorities to provide order, to money to provide security, and to others to provide love. This outward grasping has been a detour from the true path. Now the energy on your planet is shifting, inviting you to correct this course and return to the center of your being. In truth, every rising civilization must eventually make this inward turn, for no external structure can deliver what the God self within you can. Each of you will have unique life experiences and expressions, but the underlying principle remains the same. Enlightenment comes through realizing that everything you seek truly emanates from within. The very moment you sincerely redirect your trust inward, the divine plan for your life begins to unfold. At first, the changes you notice might seem subtle. Perhaps only a tiny stream of goodness trickles into some area of your life. But with continued practice and patience, that small stream becomes a full current of grace as your inner floodgates open completely. This is what living by grace means, allowing the boundless flow of Source's blessings to fill your life without strain. In fact, the recent surge noted in your Schumann resonance was a direct result of many individuals reaching this state, even if briefly. It was the culmination of countless small moments of spiritual practice and surrender that added up to a collective breakthrough. Take it as evidence that your inner work truly does ripple outward. Having achieved this once, you can do it again, and for longer. Make it a daily practice to anchor yourself in that inner light and observe how the energy builds. The potential for even greater collective shifts is within reach when enough hearts maintain this alignment. The call now is to come home to your own spirit and Source within. An essential ingredient in allowing the abundance from within to reach its fullness is the letting go of personal doership. In simple terms, the ego, the sense of a small I that believes it must control and figure out everything, is the only obstruction to divine grace. This ego self is what some traditions have symbolically called the adversary or the tempter, because it draws you away from trusting the Source. Whenever you find yourself anxiously thinking, "What should I do? How will I solve this?" you may inadvertently be closing the door to the greater power. The moment you slip into worry or begin taking personal credit for the good unfolding, you tighten the flow. By contrast, each time you consciously release that mental grasping and acknowledge, "By myself I can do nothing. It is the divine within me that accomplishes all," you open the channel wide again. Humility, in the spiritual sense, is the state of recognizing that your human personality on its own cannot achieve these great things, but simultaneously recognizing that the infinite God self within you absolutely can. True humility is not about self-belittlement. It is about understanding your rightful role as a vessel and letting the larger presence work through you. This understanding is deeply liberating. It means you do not have to strain or stress. You only need to allow. You set down the burden of trying to make everything happen by your own efforts, and instead invite the limitless creative spirit to take over. And indeed, when you relinquish the ego's hold and genuinely invite that higher power, grace rushes in with often astonishing results. Even if your human self wants to heal others, it cannot. But the divine within you can, once you allow it. You will find outcomes aligning in ways your limited planning could not have orchestrated, manifesting with perfect timing and intelligence. When the divine energy takes over, it often works in quiet and mysterious ways, without your conscious mind even knowing the details of what is being arranged or who all may be touched by it. The movement of spirit is inherently impersonal and universal. It goes where it is needed, when it is needed, without any strain. You might only realize in hindsight the magnitude of what has occurred. Indeed, many of you had this realization after the recent energetic elevation. At the time it was happening, you did not fully grasp that you were part of a significant collective event. Only afterward did you sense that something remarkable had moved through you and around you. This is precisely how we live in the higher dimensional Pleiadian collective. We allow Source to orchestrate through us, and we flow with it in trust. The extraordinary alignment that showed up as spikes on your Schumann charts was a direct result of such surrender on a mass scale. It was spirit itself moving through the hearts of humanity without interference from ego agendas, and so it registered as a pure, coherent burst of energy. You may notice that you feel a deep joy and gratitude when grace works in this way, even if you did not consciously understand it in the moment. There is a special kind of happiness in witnessing blessings unfold that clearly were not of your personal making. It reaffirms that a much larger presence is guiding you and the collective. The more you experience this, the more your trust in the unseen realms will grow. You will naturally become more willing to let go and allow spirit to lead, knowing that you are always supported by that divine intelligence. You are learning to trust the unseen hand of spirit, which never fails to guide and provide. This is life in grace, and it becomes more natural each time you witness its quiet miracles. As you continue to release the old belief that your limited human understanding alone is sufficient, a new clarity dawns. Paradoxically, the more one clings to personal knowledge or control, the less effective one tends to be in creating true harmony. But when you accept that by your small self, you can do very little, you create space for the infinite self to do everything. This realization is a hallmark of fifth dimensional consciousness, a mature spiritual humility and trust in the divine. Embracing this opens the way for your full ascension because it allows the power within you to operate without resistance. Remember, it has always been the divine intention for the human being to be an instrument and expression of Source. From the very start of humanity's story, the plan was that the Creator would live through you, expressing its love and wisdom in unique form as you. You were designed to carry the creative spark and let it illuminate the world. You have perhaps heard that you are made in the image and likeness of the Creator. This truth means that you are a vessel meant to reflect the divine qualities into the physical realm. You are, at your core, a perfect emanation of the divine light. However, this perfection only becomes apparent in your life to the extent that you surrender to the Source within and let it work through you. Think of yourself as a flute and Source as the breath. The music of divine harmony plays beautifully when you allow that breath to flow unobstructed. The more you yield to this inner power, the more your life reveals the exquisite design and perfection that was always there. This is the destiny of an awakened human, to live as an active partner with the Creator, crafting reality in love and light. Those sudden vertical bands of light were not caused by any external phenomenon. They were a mirror of the inner coherence you achieved together, a resonance effect, as the Earth's field responded to the frequency you collectively emanated. The extraordinary pattern that appeared on your Schumann resonance chart was essentially the Earth's applause for your inner work. In the days and hours leading up to that moment, many individuals around the world, starseeds, healers, meditators, were consciously raising their vibration. Some meditated in groups, others prayed in solitude, and many performed acts of compassion or practiced mindful breathing. Each release of fear, each act of forgiveness, every grateful breath sent out a pulse of higher energy into the quantum field. Individual waves in harmony merged into a larger wave, and that is exactly what transpired. Your individual efforts, each a beam of light, converged into a brilliant collective surge. The instruments detected this as those vertical spikes on the graph. In effect, the charts were recording a broadcast of humanity's unified heartbeat. Like a planetary heart monitor, capturing the moment, humanity's collective consciousness stepped into a higher octave. Many of you sensed something special occurring. Perhaps you felt an electrifying buzz in your nerves or a flutter in your chest. These sensations were your body's way of adjusting to the frequency jump and offering feedback that the shift was real. Understand that you have already created this new energetic octave. It is not something you must seek outside yourself. The task ahead is to stabilize and integrate this vibration so it becomes a steady foundation for your life. It is not about frantically reaching for a high state outside yourself. Rather, center yourself so that the elevated state you touched can become your new normal. In doing so, that flutter in the resonance can evolve into a sustained harmonic that transforms your collective experience. So how can you practically anchor this higher frequency? Begin by treating your spiritual routine as an alignment practice rather than a plea. For example, each morning you might sit quietly, breathe deeply, and visualize yourself drawing in light from the earth and from the cosmos into your heart. See each inhale bringing nurturing energy from the heart of the earth up into your body, and each exhale sending love and light out from your heart back into the world. Do this for a few minutes with the intention of simply allowing the existing divine energy to circulate through you. This sets a harmonious tone for your day and trains your body and mind to hold the higher vibration steadily. Additionally, care for your physical vessel, since it is the conduit for this energy. Keep yourself hydrated, and consider adding a pinch of natural, mineral-rich salt to your drinking water to replenish trace elements that help your body conduct energy. Spend a little time in early daylight if you can. Morning sun exposure helps attune your body's rhythms to the Earth's subtle changes. Practice heart-centered breathing throughout the day. Take slow, even breaths while focusing on feelings of gratitude or love. This not only calms your nervous system, but also expands the electromagnetic field of your heart, which interacts with the fields of others. When many hearts are coherent, their energies blend into a collective field of stability that supports everyone. If you experience temporary discomforts or emotional releases, signs of old energies clearing, be gentle with yourself. Soaking in a bath with Epsom salts, or even a simple foot bath with soothing herbs, can help ease these energies and ground you. Set the intention to release any heaviness into the water and let it be transmuted. These simple practices will help your entire being adjust and stabilize at the new frequency you have opened up. Finally, be very mindful of the quality of your thoughts and feelings, because they imprint the collective field more rapidly than ever. Try to avoid slipping back into divisive us versus them thinking, as that introduces disharmony into what is meant to be a unified wave. When you feel triggered or upset, take a moment to neutralize that energy before it spreads. For example, you can imagine placing the troubling thought or emotion inside a bubble or prism of pure light. See that light transform the energy, and then allow it to dissolve away. Simple visualizations like this can prevent your personal turbulence from echoing out into the world. In the same way, small acts of love and kindness have an outsized effect now. Seemingly simple gestures anchored in this love-light frequency actively support the higher frequency that humanity is moving into. Remember, those wavy harmonics on the Schumann chart were a visible confirmation that awakened human hearts, working together, can literally retune the planet. You have already shown what is possible. By continuing to live in this conscious, heart-centered way, allowing Source to guide you, caring for your body temple, and fostering unity in your mind, you will transform that brief moment of magic into an enduring new reality. The next surge in your planet's vibration will not be an unpredictable anomaly, but rather the logical result of the loving coherence you are deliberately creating. Indeed, you are co-composing a new song for Earth, a radiant movement in the ever-evolving symphony of ascension. I am Valir, and I am delighted to have shared this with you all today.